What's destroying your relationships without you realizing it? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that all your most important relationships are falling apart, and worse, without truly understanding why. Friends drifting away, partnerships cooling off, love turning distant. The truth is that many times we are the silent saboteurs. But why? And more importantly, how to stop. In this video, you're going to discover the 5 most common mistakes that destroy relationships and how to avoid them before it's too late. Each point comes with real stories, deep reflections, and practical tools. But beware, the last mistake is the most surprising and counterintuitive of all. And it's also the most destructive. You'll see yourself in more than one of these patterns. And that's a good thing, because recognizing is already half the solution. Get ready for an emotional but necessary journey. You might even feel uncomfortable with some truths, and that's a sign this video is for you. Before we continue, write in the comments, "I want to become better in all of my relationships." That simple sentence activates a commitment with yourself. And of course, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel, because here we talk about real transformation, no fluff. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and come with me. The first mistake is much more common than you think, and you might be making it right now. The poison of unspoken expectations. How many times have you been hurt because the other person should have known? You expected them to call, to remember, to help, to support, and when that didn't happen, pain, anger, frustration. But did you say that clearly? Or did you just expect them to guess? This is the classic mistake. Expecting without communicating. We believe the other person will understand us through osmosis. And when that doesn't happen, instead of clarifying, we shut down, we withdraw, we resent. Silence becomes a weapon. Hurt becomes a prison. Healthy relationships need clarity, transparent communication, not telepathy. Writing or clearly speaking what you expect avoids future pain, and even opens space for the other person to say whether or not they can meet it. Those who don't communicate complicate, and many times the other person even wants to do their best, but doesn't know how. Give them that map. Don't hide the password to your emotional vault. Share what you need with sincerity, without pressure. Remember, expectations only turn into frustration when they're silent. Communication is the antidote. And that takes us to the second mistake, which might be even subtler: confusing love with control. Have you ever tried to help someone too much? Advising, guiding, deciding with the best intentions. But in the end, the person felt smothered? The feeling of wanting the best can, without noticing, turn into a form of control. This is mistake number 2, confusing care with imposition. Love isn't about turning the other into an idealized version. It's about accepting, welcoming, giving space for them to grow on their own. Every time we try to mold someone, we are disrespecting their journey. Controlling is the opposite of trusting, and trust is the foundation of any deep connection. When you decide for someone else, even with good intentions, you're saying, "I know better than you about your life." That hurts. Yes, there are times for guidance, but it needs to be asked for, or offered with lightness. Without the expectation, it will be accepted. When we give space, the other feels valued. And then, yes, they open up to grow beside us. If you want your relationships to breathe, learn to love with freedom. Because the next mistake happens exactly when freedom turns into distance. The escape. From conflict, the silence that hurts. Many people believe avoiding arguments is a sign of maturity. "I don't like to fight," they say. But is running from conflict really healthy? Or are we just postponing an emotional time bomb? This is the third mistake, believing that peace is the absence of confrontation. When we avoid difficult conversations, what we feel doesn't disappear. It just piles up and turns into passive irritation, irony, distancing. The problem becomes a silent monster. Strong relationships are not the ones that avoid conflict. They're the ones that know how to go through it with respect. The truth can hurt, yes, but the silent lie of omission hurts much more. Fleeing confrontation. Is fleeing the chance to grow together. Creating space for honest conversations is liberating. It says to the other, "You matter enough that I won't pretend everything's okay." That creates real connection, true intimacy, and healing. True peace is not silence. It's resolution. It's emotional maturity. And speaking of maturity, the next mistake reveals how emotionally immature we still are. Projecting onto the other. What is yours? Have you ever accused someone of something and later realized it was actually about you? This is one of the hardest mistakes to see, projecting onto the other what is unresolved in yourself. Jealousy, insecurity, anger don't always come from what the other did. We project when we have open wounds, and we expect the other to be the nurse for those pains. But that's not fair, nor healthy. Emotional healing begins in us. Before pointing fingers, look in the mirror. Ask, what does this say about me? It's hard. It takes courage, because acknowledging that the pain is our responsibility is uncomfortable. But it's also freeing. It gives you your power back. You stop being a hostage to the other person's behavior. When you recognize your projections, you make room for authentic connection. Because you stop demanding the other to fill your voids, and only then you can love truthfully, completely, without disguised neediness. And if you think you've already understood everything, the last mistake will surprise you, because it's the most common and the most dangerous of all. Forgetting that relationship is a daily choice. How many couples start with passion and end with indifference? Friends who used to talk every day and today are strangers? The truth is simple. Relationships can't run on autopilot. They require constant attention. This is the fifth mistake, thinking that bonds maintain themselves. They don't. What isn't nurtured dies. What isn't watered dries up. Love is a decision renewed every day. A gesture, a word, a look. Small actions that say, I still choose you. Many stop showing it because they think the other already knows. But what if they no longer do? What if routine has dimmed the light? Reigniting that flame requires intention, creativity, presence, priority. Relationships are gardens, and gardens need daily care. Otherwise, weeds grow, the ground cracks, flowers wither, not out of malice, but from neglect, and nothing hurts more than being slowly forgotten. So, before this video ends, ask yourself, have you been watering your relationships, or are you letting them die of emotional starvation? Because the choice is in your hands. It's up to you to change the game. Now that you know the 5 mistakes, unspoken expectation, disguised control, conflict avoidance, emotional projection, and relational neglect, you can change. But only if you want to. Only if you act. If something touched you, like this video now, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel. We're building a space here for real emotional transformation. No masks. And don't forget to write in the comments, I want to become better in all of my relationships. Let's spread that intention together. The journey is long, but with awareness, vulnerability, and choice, it becomes extraordinary. See you in the next video. Be sweet and strong.